she said. "Scott Hampton wasn't the man for you, Sarah Booth. He'd have made one fine sperm donor, but he wasn't built for the long haul. Quit kicking yourself and focus on the positive." "Like what?" I asked, and then instantly regretted it. Asking Jitty such a question was a bit like inviting a vampire into your house. "Do you know when women got the right to vote?" she asked. I sighed. "No, I don't, and I don't care. My own personal history is troublesome enough without taking on the world. I know everything there is to know about me, and I still can't fix my life. Knowing all that history won't help anyone. It just makes a person run around in strange outfits." "It was 1920. Up until your mother's generation, women couldn't even establish credit in their own name. Back then, a woman didn't have a man, she didn't stand a chance of surviving. Leastways nowadays you can be an old maid and still keep your property." I looked at my black coffee and wished for a good dollop of Jameson in it. To that end, I got up and went inside. Instead of going to the parlor where the bar was, at the last minute I turned left and headed for my new office. I'd been up since 5 arranging the 2 new desks, 2 new chairs, filing cabinets, telephones, fax machine, and other office paraphernalia. I'd had a busy and productive morning, until I'd started thinking about Scott. Jitty followed me, lecturing as she went, but I wasn't about to encourage her by answering. The past haunted both of us, and I saw no good end in indulging in it. The room I'd selected as the official digs for Delaney Detective Agency was a master bedroom suite in the east wing of the house. It was perfect because it had its own entrance and a small sitting room that would serve perfectly for a receptionist, should that day ever arrive when we could afford one. I'd kept the entire project a secret from Tinky, but I was expecting her at any minute so I could spring the surprise. Her desk even had a nameplate, and the frosted glass exterior door said Delaney Detective Agency. The next lines were Delaney and Richmond, private investigators. "What do you think, Jitty?" I couldn't resist asking her, though she had grave doubts about my ability to decorate. "It would look a lot better if there were a few clients sitting around in it." "I'll get another case," I said, wondering if that was true. 6 weeks is a long time for a detective to lay fallow. "Maybe we should celebrate the new office with a Bloody Mary." "There was a time when a woman couldn't walk in a bar and order a drink." Jitty's chocolate eyes sparkled. The part about bars got my attention fast. "When did that change?" "Your mother's generation. At least, that's when it became publicly acceptable for women to drink in bars. Of course, women have always drunk liquor, and I'm not talking about a dainty glass of sherry. The rule was that decent women didn't drink." She raised perfectly shaped eyebrows. "I guess a gal like you would have ended up in the hoosgow or scrubbing floors in some mission." Jitty's point was well taken. I was benefiting from many generations of work on the part of courageous women who demanded change in the way their gender was viewed and treated. I sat down at my desk and put my feet up. "Okay, so I've come a long way, baby. I concede that point. How about an exhibit of the Charleston?" "Sit up straight and quit acting like some kind of tart," Jitty said. "Our work's not finished, not by a long shot. It ain't time to put your feet up yet." My glow of feminism paled. Jitty had an agenda. I was going to suffer. This was one equation that never failed to prove true. "I need a new case, Jitty, not a social conscience." "You need both of them. But even that won't fulfill your female destiny. What you need is a man. You're the generation that can have it all, remember?" Leave it to Jitty to state the obvious when my friends weren't doing it. "Thanks. I'll check the newspaper and see if they have any good sales going on men." But she had backed herself into a corner, and I was going to enjoy watching her try to squirm out of it. "Think about it, though, Jitty. If I'm going to be the spearhead for women's rights in Sunflower County, I think it would look a lot better if I were independent. You know, one of the I don't need a man for nothing women. If I had a husband, it would make me look like a hypocrite, don't you think?" "Tick-tock, Sarah Booth.